So I've just seen a misguided young man making noise about Gaidho and what I've been talking about boomers. Ni jamaa mkubwa kuna mic ndogo. I'm thinking like aren't things supposed to be getting smaller? We are getting smaller cell phones, smaller laptops, but with bigger capacity. So I like this mic, man. It doesn't mean that I don't have bigger mics, but I like this one. So get used to it. But secondly, I don't even want to go to the nitty-gritties of your toxic tirade and your rants. I need you to understand as young people that me, I'm not the enemy. Me, I've just given you the cause of your misery, the cause of your joblessness, the cause of your continued depression. You want to commit suicide. Why? Because of a generation of people called boomers, people born between 1940 and 70. But that doesn't mean that there are no other younger people who are fashioned like boomers, who think like boomers. For instance, I give you an example. We talked about Jalango the other day. I'm seeing there is a new wave and a new era of gengeton, which is, I can see it trending on TikTok. But you remember the first wave of gengeton, the first person who wished death upon it was Jalango, and he said gengeton has no future, gengeton haitaenda mahali. So we have young people with old mindsets. That's like Jalango, or that kid who was throwing shade at me. Because why are you throwing shade at me? Am I the one who has stolen taxpayers' money? No. Am I the one who has grabbed land meant for playgrounds, for parks? No. Am I the one who has embezzled, who has conned parents in Uasin Gishu County, forced them to give me close to $1 billion shillings for going to Finland and Canada, and then I embezzled the money? No. It is who? It is people, and their age groups. And these people keep getting re-elected. Why? Because we are not having these conversations, or when we have them, we are getting disrupted by people who are directing us to the wrong enemies. You need to identify your enemy first before you get into battle. And I just told you the people born between 1940 and 70 are the enemy. How they think, how they fashion their narratives. You understand? If because they were so stupid, they did not have these conversations. And I was talking about the context of the Mount Kenya, because I've taken time to study. You take time to study about your community, because no community is better than the other. Corruption is universal. If one community was worse than the other, then devolution would have shown us that now we have a new referral hospital in this county or in that county. Everyone has just been stealing money because they've been getting money equally. We've sunk 4 trillion shillings in this white elephant called devolution, in this vanity project called devolution, but we were not devolving services. We were not devolving in infrastructural development. We were just devolving corruption. And the people who did the new constitution, they were so engrossed in, we want to create jobs for women. We want to create jobs for these people, this cluster of people, these special interest groups. Why? That's all they went to do for the devolution. They did not put checks and balances to ensure that even when we devolve these resources, they are prudently managed. You understand? So we have a generation of retrogressive people, and I told you they are called boomers, and there is nothing personal. We are having the right conversations, because I told you now the Mount Kenya people, they did not have the conversations about Jomo Kenyatta's tenure. So they had nostalgia. There was extended nostalgia from the 70s. Yet they forgot that Jomo Kenyatta did not add an inch of tarmac. He did not add the hospitals. All the infrastructure that he oversaw during that period was the overflow of colonialism, of the colonial period. But he himself did not institute anything. And then there was a less population, less pressure on the budget, less pressure on mortgages and interest rates. And then there was no free market like we have today. So because they were nostalgic, they thought that those were the good old days. That's why they were looking forward to the Uhuru presidency. But Uhuru was a lunatic. He just came there. He's a alcoholic chain smoker, implemented alcohol law, killed CBD, did a lot of things which we have spoken about. But now we are having this conversation so that in the future, if Uhuru's children decide to vie for presidency, we won't be as stupid as the boomers who are looking forward to the Uhuru presidency with the nostalgia of the Jomo Kenyatta presidency, thinking that the good old days were because of his father. And then who said that these attributes of governance are transferred from father to son? You saw in America when George Bush Sr. and George W. Bush Jr., when George Bush Sr. started the Gulf War, where they invaded Iraq and they were fighting because of Kuwait and the oil. And then now George W. Bush took it a notch higher. He took it to genocidal levels. In fact, I'm wondering why this Karim Khan guy, the ICC prosecutor who was here being given a phantom degree at Mount Kenya University, I'm wondering why he has not also issued an arrest warrant for George W. Bush for war crimes in Iraq. You see the double standards of the Western hegemony. So pick the right enemies. Me, I'm not your enemy. I have not embezzled any money. I'm just using my mic, my bundles. Now you, what you're doing is you're using good bundles for bad energy. Yeah, I'm not behind your misery. Listen, I'm not the one who is right now petitioning TikTok to censor and to ban TikTok in the country. I'm not the one. It's a guy called Ndolo. He has been sponsored by the Communication Authority of Kenya, which is an agency of the government. I'm not the one who is talking with the TikTok CEO, asking him to moderate, to regulate and censor your voice. Yeah, you people who are going live these days can have conversations. You're connecting, you're interacting, you're making money, you're getting gifts. I'm not the one who is blocking that. It's people of a certain generation, and I've told you they are boomers. You understand? Because they are brought together. Boomers are united in their hate for young people. That's why if you look at all the infrastructure that is supposed to help young people, and I told you it's as regards to playgrounds, as regards to parks, as regards to budgetary allocation for sports. We were talking about Uhuru's era and how the money from the sports fund was redistributed to the health, and they imported these containers, mobile clinics, which are still rotting somewhere in Shimo Tewa. That's the I told you the unification component of boomers is their mutual hate for young people, and then they are the ones who want to use you as cannon fodder in the war of attrition. So they know very well they have diminished opportunities. They have finished industries that could create jobs, and then now they're happy to sell the narrative that, oh, there are jobs abroad, there are jobs in Canada, there are jobs in Finland, there are jobs in Germany. Now, have you ever seen a German, not unless the few high-level ones, have you seen them immigrating en masse to third world countries? No, because their country, their opportunities, they stay there until they retire. And you're going there to take care of retirees. You're mostly going to work in the health sector to take care of retirees because they invested in their pensions. They invested wisely in their youth. Now, what do our retirees here have? Nothing. So they are more than happy to continue staying in power so that they can appropriate your opportunities. Don't forget, Akina Kibaki were appointed in the government in their early 20s. They still delivered. There were PSs. Here you've been made to hate yourself and to not believe in your own capacity. And you're told now go and work abroad as a menial worker. Them, in their era, they were being appointed in their 20s. In senior government officials, and they are still present. So me, I'm not your enemy. I'm not the one who has caused the electricity cost to go high, so that if you had a fish and chip somewhere, it closed. If you had a salon somewhere in a kinyozi, it closed. If you had a DVD place somewhere, it closed. I'm not the one who has caused that. It's boomers. It's you know them, and these people like Kiraito Murongi was the Minister of Energy. There was Fernandez Baraza. He was the head of Ketraco, and then they have gone on to use their proceeds of crime to get elected as governors, you understand, and other positions. The people who have still squandered your future. I met a very stupid boomer yesterday, and I asked them, why do you like Ruto? Because they are still jacking themselves off to the prospect of Ruto presidency. They said, Ruto sasa anatutafutia, we are going to be getting 3,000 a month. We have started being registered to be getting 3,000 a month as old people, as retirees. What is 3,000? Do you know how much retirees are getting in other countries where you guys are immigrating to? In America, where they are in those homes for the aged. And then now this one is getting excited over 3,000 shillings, only 3,000 shillings. And they have just been asked to register. This is 1 year. So because I know the Kenya Kusha regime, how they operate, they will unfold, or they will unleash this money for them probably 1 year to elections, and then the guys will be like, oh, ni wewe too, because I told you there are people who are stupid. You saw those stupid old women who are singing Torokera Tene because of their stupidity. They equate. They don't understand that this is their money, this is their taxes. In fact, it's us young people who are funding it, and they are supposed to be getting more. But because of their stupidity, they still think this is a favor they are being done by the government. So boomers are your enemy, not me.